Okay, so today we're going to make ratatouille. And I have my food processor out. I have my vegetables set up out here. And the trick with ratatouille is to have all of your vegetables uniformly sliced. In other words, same thickness, every single one of them. So when you're buying your vegetables, you want to make sure that they're going to fit. If you're using your food processor, they're going to fit in this loosely enough so that when they go down, they're going to make nice, even slices. But you need to stack them like this. So if you've ever seen that movie Ratatouille, that Disney did, or if you haven't, please, it's a hoot. It's really cute, funny, and then there's this recipe in it. And Ratatouille is not the rat's name. The rat's name is Emile. And what's his brother's name? I always forget his brother's name. Emile's the brother. I don't know. Anyway, one of them's name is Emile. I'll figure it out by the end of the day. And so the one has an educated palate, as they say. And he doesn't walk on all fours, so pretty wild. But what you need for ingredients for this is 28 ounces of, I call them pulverized tomatoes. Not tomato sauce. If you look at next to the diced tomatoes in the store, there's another can that says chopped. Well, chopped means basically it's been run through here. And I need to do that real quick. If you do not have a food processor, and if you're really good with your knife and you can do uniform thin slices, it has to be like an 1/8 of an inch thick, go for it. There's also a kitchen gadget that hasn't come yet, and I used to have one, and somehow it got misplaced. It's called a mandolin. A mandolin, basically, it's your cheese grater, and it has a blade on it to do slices. The difference between that and this is that it sits on the table, and it has a little tined handle. And you take that tined handle and you would stab it into your vegetable and go like this. Or your piece of cheese. You want slices of cheese, you do the same thing. I had problems with finding straight neck yellow squash for this, so I ended up getting crooked neck squash, and the end of crooked neck squash is really like bulbous and big. So I couldn't do it in here the way I can do the zucchini. Yes, there's zucchini. So you need the 28 ounces tomato. I'll call it crushed tomatoes. Then you also need a tablespoon of olive oil. You need for a full recipe, 2 eggplants, 2 zucchinis, 6 Roma tomatoes. That's these guys, plum tomatoes. And for extra color, I put in the yellow squash. It's crooked neck, but straight neck would be great. The one eggplant that I prefer, but you have, and sometimes it's hard to find, at least in this area, is called, I believe, Chinese eggplant, where they look like a purple piece of zucchini, but it's still eggplant. It's the perfect size for this. Well, in our area, we don't have those. So this really had to be hand sliced, and it's really odd because it's like really way too big. But it works. You know, I make it work. Let's put it that way. I make it work. So what you're going to do is you're going to slice all your vegetables the same uniform thickness, and a food processor is perfect for that. This food processor's blades, it has 2, but it has 3 different functions. The one does just like if you were going to make hummus, it just pulverizes everything. The one is just 2 blades and it goes like 100 miles an hour. This particular blade has 2 functions. One is a grater and the other one is the slicer. So this is the slicer part and this is the grater part. Now when you want to grate with the food processor, you want the grater side up so that if you were, and don't do this, if you went to put your finger on it, you'd cut it. You know, the blades are up. You want to make sure the blades are up for whatever you're cutting. The slice side is a flip side, so it's reversible. Then there's this little post. I'm not going to take it out because it's too hard to get it back in. This post, this fits on top of. So I'm going to have my slice side up, put it on there, and what's going to come out of it is these uniform, nice thin slices. That's what makes the ratatouille so good, is because it can cook thoroughly through, nice and gooey. Yum. This is a total vegetarian dish, by the way. That is right. There is not one single thing in here that isn't a vegetable or made from a vegetable. I keep forgetting I have to do this. Put this top on. It's a safety feature for this thing. There we go. And mince it. You engage the bottom, then you engage the top. It won't let you do it any other way. So, 2 of each vegetable. And then you want a medium-sized onion, preferably a sweet onion, diced. You also want a orange bell pepper, diced, and a yellow bell pepper, diced up. You're also going to need a teaspoon of garlic. You can use garlic salt if you like for taste. Then you need a teaspoon of fresh, finely chopped up thyme, and also basil leaves. The easiest way to cut up the basil leaves is you take the leaf, roll it up, and just make tiny, just chop it up tiny. But the thin slices, you're going to stack them just like this. It's all kind of color-coded. You do yellow squash, red tomato, eggplant, zucchini. So yellow, red, purple, green. And you're going to make several of these. And I've got several in the pan here. What's interesting about this is when you cook up the sauce, you take your peppers and your onion that you just diced up, and you put them in that tablespoon of olive oil, and you let those simmer to where when the onion is translucent, then you add your 28 ounces of your tomatoes and your spices, your garlic, your thyme, and of course the basil leaves. So this is kind of noisy. I already tested to make sure because I just showed you the zucchini slice. So this is the ideal size for making ratatouille. That's why I said if you can find straight neck squash along with your zucchinis, get them both about same size. If you can find the Chinese eggplant, which is almost, it looks like zucchini, but it's purple. It's like purple and white kind of speckled. It would be like 1/3 this size. So it'd be more close to this. Otherwise, this has to be hand sliced. And that's what I ended up doing. And it takes up a lot of room. So it doesn't really make the design look so great. But so you take your plug there. I always like to start mine with the blade past the vegetable. If I can do it. There we go. And you do it on pulse. You don't want to do it on just hitting on because then what happens is it'll start mushing it up. You don't want to do that. So you just kind of pulse it to make the slices. And that last little nub, I don't use it. Undo the top, take that, because now it's kind of, And then the tomato. And like I said, the zucchini's in there. And the yellow squash. Now this is kind of a fat tomato, but it'll work. Sometimes it's better that they're a little snug, because when you're putting pressure on it from above, that keeps it from sliding neck around and then up with a oval-shaped tomato. You want to have it stay as round as you can. See, this thing wants to slide around on me. That's why I do pulse. See that? It flipped to the side. So there's not much I can do about that, but it's on its side, man. Now I'm going to finish it. One way to avoid that is if you can shove two tomatoes in here at once, it'll do that. It'll stay round until they get to a certain point, and then they'll go ovalish. But these are good. Okay. I know I'm not going to be able to do the eggplant, so I'm going to do 2 slices of that, and then I'll show you how to lay this out. Where's my big knife? Big knife. When it's too big, just take your time. And try to make sure that you got it nice and thin, just like the other vegetables you have. There's one. Each stack has 2 of everything. Now, ooh, I did really good. See how nice and thin that is? I don't need to knock that off the table. Let's undo this. Take that little bad boy out of here. I already sliced my knuckle on that blade. They're very sharp, these things. Oh, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. As far as size-wise, it's actually not that bad. Okay. Here comes the artsy-fartsy time. This is the art lesson. This is called food art. I have deemed this food art. So, since my eggplant's the biggest one, I put eggplant. Then I'm going to take a slice of tomato. Put that on there. And what color comes next? Oh, yeah. Yellow. Yellow. And then the green one, which is the zucchini. And some of these are kind of chopped up, so I'll just try to fill the space. Then it's going to be another piece of eggplant, tomato, and the yellow squash. I can actually put 2 pieces. Since that eggplant is so big, I can put 2 pieces of yellow squash on here. And then the zucchini. And you can always make a salad out of this stuff. If you don't want to try the ratatouille, you can always make a salad. So, the first ones I start out with are very uniform. So, we're going to use those. So, you're assembling all of this while your sauce is marinating, actually slowly cooking on a medium heat on your stove in a saucepan. It's just to get everything heated up. Okay? And then, with your oven heated up to 400, let me make sure I got mine heated up. No. Bake. 400. 400, there we go. Preheated to 400. Now, by the time you've got all of this cut, your sauce is going to be ready. About 20 minutes for the sauce. And I've got these stacked already in here, but I need to take them out. And you're like, well, wait a minute. Why are you taking them out? Because this has to go in on top of a layer of sauce. Okay? So, the sauce being right here, and I don't know how hot this dish is, so I'm going to grab it with a towel. I already cooked this. And I'm going to ladle it into the pan. Now, what's that mean, ladle in? It means you take a spoon and you slowly put it in there so you don't splash it all over yourself. And I can't, there's my big spoon. And it's like, not a ladle, but it's a pretty deep spoon. And I'm going to bring the pan over here to the sauce. Put that in the bottom. I'm going to coat the bottom with this. Just like this here. And then while this cooks, I'll show you how to make some garlic bread. You just want to layer on the bottom. And those vegetables are going to soak up all of that bell pepper taste and the thyme and the garlic and the onion. And it's going to be absolutely wonderful. So you start from the outside edge. And it's kind of like dominoes. When they get ready to fall down, you just kind of lean them. Instead of being straight up and down, they're leaning. And you do that all the way around the whole pan. Da-da-da-da-da. Like that. And like this. Ta-da. And then this one. I probably only have to do one more stack of these, looks like. Because like with that eggplant being so big. Now if they were all the same size, they would fit in here a lot better. But they're not. So we're having to finagle just a little bit. Now I could reverse the pattern if I wanted to. But I'm going to use what I've got. Yellow. Da-da-da. Oh, It's in the, I just moved it, didn't I? Oh, I sure did. It's over here. Oh. And then red. And where's that green one? Green one on the other side. Like that. Now I need to slice it. Eggplant. I've got a space in the center, so I just need like maybe one more stack of these. That wasn't very even. Yay. There we go. Okay, so I got that and that. And put that one in there. Kind of. There we go. And then I just got to put one in the center. Well, that worked out well. Like I said, this is all, I guess, yeah, this is it's vegan as well. If I'm not mistaken, there's the only thing in here is vegetables. Yeah, it's all vegetables. See, those little pieces of eggplant, there's for two. Now I have a decent one. Okay. I can always save those for making baba ganoush. You don't know what baba ganoush is? It's a eggplant dip. It's wonderful. Okay, there's that. Tomato. The yellow squash. That in there. Believe it or not, you can actually eat yellow squash raw. So you can put it in a salad. It's all good. So I need one more layer. You could do it on the other end, but that's the butt end of it. So I kind of got some practice doing that. Okay. So let's put the ragamuffin piece of the tomato for that layer, so it'll fill it up. That one. And the yellow squash, as we say. And then the zucchini. I'm not a real big fan of zucchini, but it's wonderful in this dish. Now you'll see a lot of people will make ratatouille where they chop everything up and then just cook it. Well, I don't go for that. This is traditional way it's supposed to look, except for the fact that the eggplant's so big. And then I'm just going to put this stack in the center, but I'm going to lean it so that you can actually see all the beautiful colors in there. I don't know. Okay. So you put sauce in the bottom first, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like because it's so pretty and colorful. You gotta love it. That is the ratatouille laid out. Started at a corner, went around, and then did the last one in the center. Okay. Now, the next step for this dish is to put the rest of the sauce on it. If I can get this thing to stay up. Okay. So we're going to put the rest of the sauce on here. Spoon it on. And this takes about 45 minutes or so to cook, depending on how you like your vegetables to be, whether you want them really super soft or not, or if you want them to have a little bit of crunch on the edge. That's strictly up to you. So you put like 1/4 of the sauce on the bottom, the rest of it goes all on top. And then when this cooks down, it gets all gooey and juicy because now your squash, which is mainly a lot of water in it, is going to be in that. The juice from that, the water from that's going to be in the sauce. And like I said, you put this in the oven for about 45 minutes. Out comes, this is a smaller version, but out comes your ratatouille. So it's like vegetable lasagna without the pasta. I mean, you can think of it that way, but it's really tasty. What's even tastier is the garlic bread. I have found that you can find, sometimes you can find gluten-free bread in real thick slices, and when you can, that's absolutely wonderful. Otherwise, this One side got burnt, got a little bit dark on the other. But I put this in my toaster oven. If you do it in your oven, you have a broiler. What you want to do is you want to take soft whipped butter. And in that soft whipped butter, you're going to put the garlic salt. Or you can put the fresh garlic, but you want to put your fresh garlic paste. So get a garlic paste or make your own. That's good garlic bread. Because if you remember, whenever you buy garlic bread, it sort of have a little bit of a salty taste. So a little bit of garlic salt, butter on there, put under your broiler, let it toast to however dark you like. And when the ratatouille is done, like this, you have something to sop up the juice. I'm doing a bad thing right now, but oh yes, ratatouille, fresh garlic bread, super easy to do. I'll put the recipe below for you. Try it out. Let me know what you think. If you liked it, didn't like it. But if you're on the vegetarian, this is very flavorful. It's really good for you. And so easy. Like I said, if you don't have a food processor, get a mandolin. My husband wanted me to use the cheese grater that has that one blade on the. It's four-sided, right? I said I'm not going to cut up. I'm not going to cut up my knuckles. I did with trying to undo that blade in there. So, kitchen war wounds. Well, that's what happens when you're barefoot in the kitchen. So, come back and visit again. My feet hurt. That's because I have a bunion's got to have a surgery on. That's what I get for not wearing shoes, I guess. I don't know. It's a trade-off. But, God bless. Have fun cooking. Come back and see me. And, maybe we'll make some fudge. What do you think? Leave in the comments if you like fudge. I got a lot of fudge recipes. And, because it's getting close to holiday season, guess what happens at holidays? We make desserts, don't we? Oh, by the way, I made that gluten-free pineapple upside-down cake, and I didn't have a picture to show you. You want to see? Well, at least half of it. Half of it's gone. Here's the pineapple upside-down cake. Be sure to check out the video on how to make this dish. Love you guys.